I became a divorce attorney after my cheating ex destroyed me. Now my brother, ex-husband, and mother-in-law are furious I'm representing their spouses and taking everything they own. Hello my people. Don't forget to hit subscribe, say hi below and share your location. We love seeing our family from all over the world. Let's get into the story. I found out my husband Ethan was cheating on my birthday. Not just any affair, with my childhood best friend in our bed, while I was at my mother's bedside as she died from cancer. My brother Devin called me that afternoon. "Sis, you need to come home. Now." His voice cracked in a way I'd never heard before. I left the hospice, my mother's frail hand slipping from mine, her eyes following me with concern she was too weak to voice. I walked into our bedroom to find Ethan and Simone tangled in sheets I'd washed that morning. The room smelled of her perfume, the same one I'd bought her for Christmas. Ethan didn't even have the decency to look ashamed. "Baby, let me explain," he started. "Explain? Explain." My voice echoed off walls covered with our wedding photos. "My mother is dying, Ethan. Dying. And you're here with her." Simone wrapped the sheet around herself. "Naomi, we didn't mean for you to find out like this. We're in love." That word, love, coming from her mouth while wearing my husband like a cheap suit. I felt something inside me shatter, but what came after wasn't tears. It was ice-cold clarity. Ethan stood up, completely naked, completely unashamed. "Look, your mom's situation is complicated, but Naomi, we've been unhappy for years. You're always working, always tired. Simone makes me feel alive." I stared at this man I'd built a life with and I didn't recognize him. "Get out," I whispered. "Both of you. Now." What I discovered next destroyed me further. My brother Devin, my protective older brother who'd supposedly called to warn me, had known for 6 months. He'd been covering for Ethan, lying to my face while I juggled 12-hour nursing shifts and caring for our dying mother. Why? I confronted him at Mom's funeral, 3 days after catching Ethan. Our mother's casket sat behind us, draped in white roses. Devin couldn't meet my eyes. "Ethan is my boy, Naomi. He needed someone to talk to. You were always so stressed, so angry. Our mother had stage 4 cancer." I screamed, not caring that mourners turned to stare. "What did you expect? Smiles and sunshine?" "You pushed him away," Devin said, defensive now. "Always choosing work, choosing mom over your marriage. Ethan deserved better." The betrayal cut deeper than Ethan's affair. This was my blood, my protector, choosing a cheater over his own sister. Then Ethan's mother, Patricia, approached. I'd called her Mom for 7 years, had cooked Sunday dinners in her kitchen, had held her hand when her husband died. "Naomi, honey," she said, touching my arm with false sympathy. "I think it's best if you move out of the house. Ethan needs space to heal from this situation. The house is in his name anyway." My mouth fell open. The house I've been paying the mortgage on for 3 years while he found himself between jobs? Patricia's expression hardened. "You always were dramatic. Ethan is the victim here. You emotionally abandoned him. Real wives put their husbands first." I looked between them. My brother, my mother-in-law, both defending the man who'd destroyed me. That night, homeless and heartbroken, I made a decision that would change everything. I spent 2 weeks on my best friend Sharon's couch, crying until I had no tears left. My marriage was over. My mother was gone. My brother had chosen Ethan over me. I'd lost my family home and discovered that most of our mutual friends had known about the affair, some for months. "Girl, you need to stop crying and start fighting," Sharon said one morning, bringing me coffee. She was the only person who hadn't betrayed me. "What are you gonna do?" "I don't know," I admitted, staring at divorce papers Ethan had already filed. He wanted the house, the cars, even my mother's jewelry that she'd left to me. His lawyer was aggressive, expensive, and clearly banking on me being too broken to fight back. "He thinks you'll just roll over and take this," Sharon observed, reading the papers. "Typical Ethan, always underestimating you." Something in her words lit a fire. Ethan had always underestimated me. When I wanted to go to nursing school, he said I wasn't smart enough. When I got promoted, he said I was lucky. When I suggested marriage counseling last year, Before I knew about Simone, he'd laughed and said I was being dramatic again. I'd spent 7 years making myself smaller for him. I'm going back to school, I announced suddenly. Sharon blinked. Nursing? Girl, you just lost your job because you missed too much time with your mom. Law school, I corrected. Family law. Divorce specifically. She stared at me. You're 32 years old with no savings and a cheating husband trying to take everything you own. How? I'll take out loans. Study at night. Work during the day. Whatever it takes. I sat up, feeling purpose for the first time in weeks. Ethan and everyone like him. They win because women like me don't know how to fight back. I'm going to learn. Law school was brutal. I worked as a paralegal during the day, studied until 2 a.m., survived on coffee and spite. My divorce dragged on for 2 years while I learned the system that Ethan's expensive lawyer was using against me. Devon called occasionally. Sis, just settle. You're embarrassing yourself. Ethan has moved on. Simone's pregnant. That news should have destroyed me. Instead it fueled me. Congratulations to them, I said coldly. Tell Ethan I'll see him in court. I hung up before Devon could respond. My brother had made his choice, I'd made mine. In my second year I interned with attorney Diane Washington, a legendary divorce lawyer known for destroying cheating spouses in court. She was a 60-year-old black woman who'd built her practice from nothing after her own messy divorce. Why do you want to do this work? She asked during my interview. Revenge, I answered honestly. She smiled. Wrong answer. Try again. I thought carefully. Because women like me get destroyed by men like my ex-husband, and the system protects men with money. I want to level the playing field. Better. But here's the real answer. She leaned forward, her eyes intense. Because justice matters. Because breaking a marriage vow should have consequences. Because every woman who walks through that door deserves someone in her corner who understands exactly what she's lost. Can you be that person? Yes, I promised. Diane took a chance on me. Over the next 3 years she taught me everything. Not just law but strategy, psychology, how to spot hidden assets, how to destroy a liar on the witness stand. Your ex-husband hurt you, she said once. Use that pain. Make it your superpower. I did. I finally graduated law school and passed the bar on my first try. At 37 I officially became a divorce attorney. My own divorce had been finalized a year earlier. Ethan got the house but I'd fought hard enough that he'd had to buy out my equity. It wasn't much but it was mine. Simone had given birth to twins. Ethan now had the family he'd always wanted, just not with me. It still hurt but the pain had transformed into something else. Determination. I joined Diane's firm and immediately proved my worth. My first major case involved a woman whose husband had drained their accounts to fund his girlfriend's boutique. I found every hidden dollar and made him pay back double in court. You're vicious, Diane said approvingly after my first big win. Your ex-husband created a monster. Good, I replied. Words spread quickly in legal circles. There was a new divorce attorney who fought like she had nothing to lose because she'd already lost everything. Women started requesting me specifically. Women who'd been cheated on, gaslit, financially abused. I saw myself in every single one. My personal life remained empty. I dated occasionally but never seriously. How could I trust anyone after Ethan? After Devon? After watching my so-called family choose my cheater husband over me? Then one Tuesday afternoon my assistant buzzed me. Miss Thompson, you have a potential client here. She says it's urgent. Send her in. The woman who entered my office was beautifully dressed but visibly shaken. Designer purse, expensive shoes, diamond tennis bracelet, and terror in her eyes. My name is Jasmine Campbell, she said, sitting down carefully. My husband is cheating on me and I need the best. They say you're the most ruthless divorce attorney in the city. I smiled slightly. Who's your husband? Devon Thompson. The world stopped. For 10 seconds I couldn't breathe. Jasmine, Devon's wife. My sister-in-law who I'd lost contact with during my divorce, when the entire family chose Ethan's side. Did you know? I asked carefully. That I'm Devon's sister? Jasmine's eyes widened. Naomi? Oh my God, I didn't. Your last name is different on the firm website. She'd taken my middle name professionally. Collins. I kept my maiden name for business, I explained, studying her. Jasmine, this is complicated. I can't represent you if... Please, she interrupted, tears streaming down her face. Please, Naomi. You're the only one who'll understand. Devon's been cheating with his coworker for 8 months. He thinks I don't know, but I hired a private investigator. He's been hiding money, moving assets into his mother's name. Sound familiar? My blood ran cold. Patricia is helping him? Yes. Just like she helped Ethan screw you over during your divorce. I heard them talking, planning how to leave me with nothing while keeping the kids. Her voice broke. I have 3 babies, Naomi. 3 little girls under 5. Devon wants to take them from me because his mistress doesn't want another woman's baggage. The rage that consumed me was volcanic. Devon, who'd defended Ethan's affair, who'd told me I was being dramatic, who'd accused me of abandoning my marriage, was now doing exactly what Ethan had done. And Patricia was helping him again. Tell me everything, I said, pulling out my legal pad. Every detail. Every account. Every lie. I want it all. Jasmine sobbed with relief. You'll represent me? I smiled, and it wasn't kind. Honey, I'm going to destroy him. But first, I need you to sign a conflict waiver acknowledging our relationship. This was going to be satisfying. Over the next 2 weeks, Jasmine provided documentation that made my hands shake with fury. Devon had been planning this divorce for a year, systematically moving money, building a case to paint Jasmine as an unfit mother, because she'd suffered postpartum depression after their youngest daughter's birth. He told his lawyer I'm unstable, Jasmine said during our 3rd meeting, because I saw a therapist after the baby, because I needed help. I knew that playbook. Ethan had tried something similar, using my grief over my mother's death as evidence that I was emotionally volatile. But Devon had made mistakes. Arrogant mistakes. He'd hidden money in accounts he thought Jasmine couldn't trace, but I could. I'd learned from the best. Your husband is having an affair with Rebecca Simmons from his office? I confirmed. Yes. They're planning to move in together once the divorce is final. She's already pregnant. History repeating itself. Another cheating spouse, another pregnant mistress, another family destroyed. I hired the best forensic accountant in the state, a woman named Charlene who could find money hidden in mattresses. Within a week, she'd uncovered $200,000 that Devon had loaned to Patricia, who'd conveniently deposited it in an account for her granddaughter's college fund that only Devon could access. This is financial fraud, Charlene said, showing me the paper trail. And stupid. He used his regular bank for the transfers. I called Jasmine with updates. We have him. Devon's mistress Rebecca just signed a lease on a 3-bedroom house. Guess who's on the lease as a co-signer? Devon. Bingo. He's been paying her rent for 6 months while telling you money was tight and you needed to cut back on groceries. Jasmine's voice hardened. Take everything, Naomi. I want him to feel what he made you feel. What he defended Ethan for doing to you. Oh, honey, I assured her, he's going to feel much worse. I filed divorce papers on a Friday afternoon, deliberately timed so Devon would be served at his office in front of his colleagues. Petty? Maybe. Satisfying? Absolutely. Devon called me within an hour, screaming. What the fuck, Naomi? You're representing Jasmine? That's a conflict of interest. That's perfectly legal with a signed waiver, I interrupted calmly. Which she provided. How does it feel, Devon? Having your family turn on you. You're supposed to be my sister. I laughed bitterly. I was your sister. 8 years ago when I needed you. When Mom was dying and Ethan was cheating and you knew and you said nothing. You chose him over me. Remember? Silence. You told me I was dramatic, I continued, my voice ice. You said I pushed Ethan away. You defended his affair while I buried our mother alone. So no, Devon, I'm not your sister anymore. I'm Jasmine's attorney. And I'm very, very good at my job. You can't do this. I already did. Discovery requests are being filed Monday. I want bank statements, property records, communications with Rebecca, and every penny you've hidden with your mother. You have 30 days to comply or I'll hold you in contempt. Naomi, please. See you in court, brother. I hung up. My hands were shaking, but not with fear. With righteous fury. Diane had been right. My pain had become my superpower. That evening Ethan called. I hadn't heard his voice in 5 years. Naomi, Devon's falling apart. You need to drop this case. Jasmine's lying about. Ethan, I interrupted sweetly, do you remember what you told me when I begged you to stop the affair? You said I was being emotional. Well, I'm not emotional anymore. I'm calculated. Tell Devon to get a better lawyer. I blocked his number. The war had begun. 2 days after serving Devon, I received a call from an unknown number. Miss Collins? This is Angela Richardson. I'm Ethan's wife. Your ex-husband's wife. The woman on the phone sounded young, nervous. Can we meet? Please? It's urgent. Simone, she'd taken Ethan's last name when they married. The woman who'd destroyed my marriage was now begging to meet me. Every instinct screamed no. But curiosity won. We met at a coffee shop downtown. Simone looked different from my memories. Older, tired, with the exhausted appearance of someone caring for young children. The twins were in a stroller beside her, maybe 3 years old now, identically dressed in blue. Thank you for seeing me, she said quietly. I know you have no reason to help me. Then why are you here? She took a shaky breath. Ethan is cheating on me. With multiple women. Has been since I was pregnant. He's drained our savings, stopped paying bills, and told me if I file for divorce, he'll take the boys because I'm an unfit mother. Tears streamed down her face. Sound familiar? The irony was almost too much. You want me to represent you? Everyone says you're the best. That you destroy cheating husbands. She looked at me with desperate eyes. I know what I did to you is unforgivable. I destroyed your marriage. I was selfish and cruel, and I justified it by telling myself Ethan was unhappy, that you didn't love him right. But Naomi, her voice broke. He did the exact same thing to me. Everything he said about you, about being tired, distracted, not meeting his needs, he's saying about me now. While I'm home with his children. I stared at her, emotion warring with satisfaction. This woman had slept with my husband while my mother was dying. She'd smiled at my face during the divorce, pregnant with Ethan's babies, victorious. Now karma had caught up. I can't represent you, I told Simone, watching her face fall. Conflict of interest. Ethan is my ex. But, I pulled out my phone. I know someone who can. She's exactly like me but meaner. Her name is Victoria Russell. Simone grabbed my hand. Will you help her? Behind the scenes. Please, Naomi. I know I don't deserve your help. I destroyed your life. But my boys, she gestured to the sleeping twins. They don't deserve what Ethan is planning. He wants to abandon them like he abandoned everything else when it got difficult. I studied her, this woman who'd been my enemy for years. She looked broken just like I'd been. Why did you do it? I asked. Why did you sleep with Ethan while my mother was dying? Simone closed her eyes. Because I was stupid and young and he told me you didn't love him. That your marriage was dead. That you'd both moved on emotionally and were just going through the motions. I believed him because I wanted to. Because he was charming and exciting and made me feel special. She opened her eyes, meeting mine. But it was all lies, Naomi. Everything he told me about you was projection. He was the one who didn't value the marriage. And the moment things got hard with me, he did exactly what he did to you. I just didn't see it coming. There was something cathartic about hearing this. About understanding that Ethan's betrayal hadn't been my fault. It had been his character. I'll help Victoria, I decided. But Simone, this doesn't make us friends. This doesn't erase what you did. I know, she whispered. Thank you anyway. I called Victoria that afternoon. I have a case for you. Ethan Richardson, my ex-husband. He's cheating on his wife, hiding assets, planning to abandon his kids. I want you to destroy him. Victoria laughed. This is personal? Very. Good. Personal means thorough. What's my budget? Whatever it takes. Within a month, I was simultaneously working on Jasmine's case against Devon and consulting on Simone's case against Ethan. The two cases started revealing connections I hadn't anticipated. Devon and Ethan had been hiding money together. They'd opened a joint investment account, listing Patricia as the beneficiary, moving assets there to hide them from their wives. They'd been planning this together, teaching each other the playbook they'd used on me. "They're stupid," Charlene said, showing me bank records. "Arrogant and stupid. They thought their wives wouldn't fight back." But it got worse. Patricia wasn't just helping them hide money. She was actively coaching Devon and Ethan on how to destroy their wives' credibility. I found emails where she advised them to document every emotional outburst, every moment of instability, building custody cases to take their children. The same tactics used on me 8 years ago. "This is a pattern," Diane observed, reviewing the evidence. "Patricia helped Ethan destroy you in divorce court. Now she's helping both her son and her son-in-law do the same thing to their current wives. She's systematically teaching men how to financially and emotionally abuse women." "Can we sue her?" I asked. "For what?" "Being a terrible person and worse mother-in-law." Dan shook her head. "But we can expose her in court. Make her answer for her role in this. Judge Morrison hates family conspiracies, and this is exactly that." I called Jasmine and Simone separately, telling them what we'd found. The three of us, once enemies now accidentally allied, were about to expose a family conspiracy that had destroyed multiple women. "I want her on the stand," Jasmine said firmly. "Patricia told me at a family dinner that I was too sensitive when I cried after finding out about Devon's affair. She said Devon deserved happiness even if it meant leaving me. I want her to say that in court." "Same," Simone agreed when I called her. "Patricia told me I was trapping Ethan with the pregnancy even though he'd begged me to have children. She's toxic, Naomi." I knew. I'd lived with that toxicity for 7 years. The trial date arrived. Judge Morrison's courtroom was packed. Devon's divorce was being heard first, with Ethan's scheduled for the following week. I'd coordinated with Victoria to present similar evidence in both cases, exposing the pattern. Devon sat with his lawyer, confident and smug. Ethan sat behind him for support, both men treating this like an inconvenience rather than the destruction of families. Patricia sat between them, dressed expensively, looking every bit the respectable mother and grandmother who'd convinced herself her sons were the victims. I stood as Jasmine's attorney, wearing my best suit, armed with evidence that would destroy them all. "Your Honor," I began, "this isn't just a divorce case. This is a case of systematic financial fraud, parental alienation, and a family conspiracy to defraud my client of her marital assets and custody of her children." Devon's lawyer objected. "Your Honor, Miss Collins is being dramatic. This is a standard divorce." "Standard?" I turned to face him. "Let's discuss standard." The defendant systematically moved $200,000 in marital assets to his mother's accounts while telling his wife they couldn't afford their daughter's medical expenses. He's been funding his mistress's lifestyle while his children went without. He documented his wife's postpartum depression, a medical condition she sought treatment for, as evidence she's unstable. And he did all this with the coaching and financial assistance of his mother, Patricia Thompson, who is sitting right there. I pointed at Patricia, who stiffened. "This is all documented. Bank records, emails, text messages. The defendant and his mother conspired to destroy my client's life, just like they destroyed mine 8 years ago when I was married to his best friend." The courtroom went silent. Judge Morrison leaned forward. "Explain that last statement, Counselor." "Your Honor, I'm the defendant's sister. 8 years ago my then-husband cheated on me while my mother, Devon's mother, was dying. Devon knew about the affair and said nothing. During my divorce, Patricia Thompson helped my ex-husband hide assets and paint me as unstable. They succeeded. Now they're using the exact same playbook on Jasmine." The verdicts came down like hammers. Devon lost everything: the house, majority custody, and was ordered to pay substantial alimony and child support. Judge Morrison held him in contempt for hiding assets and referred the case to criminal investigators for fraud. Patricia was sanctioned for her role in the financial conspiracy and faced potential charges for fraud as an accomplice. Ethan's trial followed a similar pattern. Victoria was brilliant, exposing his serial cheating, financial abuse, and abandonment of his children. Simone got full custody and Ethan was ordered to pay back everything he'd stolen plus damages. I stood outside the courthouse after Ethan's verdict, watching my ex-husband, my brother, and their mother walk away in defeat. They destroyed me once. They tried to destroy Jasmine and Simone. But we'd fought back. Devin approached me one last time. Are you happy now? You destroyed your own family. I looked at him, really looked at him. You destroyed this family the day you chose a cheater over your sister. The day you defended Ethan while Mom was dying. You taught me that blood doesn't mean loyalty, and that family are the people who stand with you when it matters. Jasmine is more my sister now than you ever were. Mom would be ashamed of you, he spat. No, I said quietly. Mom would be proud I finally learned to fight back. That I stopped letting men like you make me small. Devin walked away. I watched him go, feeling nothing but relief. Later that evening, Jasmine, Simone, and I met at Sharon's house. The same couch where I'd cried myself broken 8 years ago. Thank you, Jasmine said, holding her daughters close. You gave me my life back. You gave us all closure, Simone added softly. I'm sorry, Naomi. For everything. I know it doesn't fix anything, but I'm sorry. I looked at these women, victims of the same men, survivors of the same abuse. We saved each other. That's what matters. But the victory felt hollow. I'd won the cases, destroyed the men who'd destroyed me, but I was alone. Still single at 40, no children, my family fractured beyond repair. Justice had been served, but my heart remained empty. That night I cried, not from pain, but from the realization that revenge, sweet as it was, couldn't give me back the years I'd lost. The children I'd never had. The family I'd once believed in. I'd become the best divorce attorney in the city by turning my pain into power. But in saving others, I'd forgotten to save myself. The war was won, but I'd lost something irreplaceable in the fighting. My ability to trust, to love, to believe in happy endings. If you've been betrayed by someone you trusted, remember, you're stronger than you know. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories of survival and justice. Your support means everything. The truth is, sometimes there are no happy endings, only hard-won lessons and the bitter satisfaction of justice served. But maybe that's enough. Maybe surviving, thriving, and refusing to stay broken is its own kind of victory.